Hello my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I have another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys. And today we are talking about Looking Glass Sound by Catriona Ward. So Looking Glass Sound is the third book by Catriona Ward that I've read. The first book I read from her was The Last House on Needless Street, which was everywhere when it came out. Everyone I knew that talked about books was talking about this book. The second book of hers I read was Little Eve, which was also fantastic. After having read both of those books, Catriona became a instant buy, instant read for me. I feel like one thing that can be said about her stories are so multi-layered, so beautifully crafted, that even if, at least I think, it's hard of course for me to say for sure because I did love both of the books, but I think even if you didn't particularly enjoy the story, I feel like she's the kind of writer that at least you can appreciate the effort that went in to crafting the story. So let me just say here that I'm glad that this is a spoiler-free review for Looking Glass Sound, because we would be here, me and you, right here, for hours if this was a book talk video. There is so much to talk about. There are so many layers. There are so many things going on to the point that I don't even really know where to begin or what exactly to tell you about this book. Because the less you know, the better. And I feel like that's true for most of her books that I've read. So it starts off as sort of a coming of age story. We've got this young boy named Wilder. He's 16 years old. Him and his parents are kind of going through a rough time. And they decide they are going to go to this cottage by the sea. It used to belong to Wilder's uncle Vernon. He's passed away and now it's theirs. So they decide they're going to go. Wilder has high hopes that maybe this change of scenery will help his parents sort of settle down and not fight so much. And he goes and immediately meets two other kids around his own age, a girl named Harper and a boy named Nat, short for Nathaniel. And they quickly hit it off. It becomes a summer of swimming in the sea, pranks, fires on the beach, drinking around the fire. Kind of backdropped against the coming of age story is this sort of looming threat in the background. That is, there seems to be a killer on the loose in the town known as the Dagger Man. And he's got kind of an MO of sneaking into families' homes and in rooms where children are asleep, taking a Polaroid of the sleeping child with a knife also showing in the photo. He never takes the children or seemingly harms them, but there's these Polaroids, and then the Polaroids are sent to someone, either the family themselves, the police, just sort of a calling card, if you will. On the other side of that, there are women going missing in the town and have been for quite some time. So that's kind of going on, as well as this coming of age story that we're seeing. Right from the beginning of the book, we know that Wilder is now a grown man. It's many years later because the beginning portion of the book begins, I think, in 1989. So at this point now it's the present, and Wilder has come to write his final book, which will be his memoir about that summer. And that's where things sort of kick off. And then from there, we are just taken on an absolutely bonkers wild ride. So a third of the way, half of the way through the book, we meet another character who becomes very important. And this is a guy named Sky, who Wilder meets when he goes to college. And him and Sky have a very interesting dynamic. And who Sky is and what Sky wants is very interesting as that part of the story goes on to unfold. What you have here is kind of a story wrapped up in a story, wrapped up in a story. And it's easy to follow, but you have to pay attention. It's one of those books you really have to pay attention to. Little, not even hints, little pieces of information are dropped and you're like, oh, okay, glad I didn't miss that. And it's just so masterfully crafted that I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought the ending was very interesting. It didn't go where I thought it would go, which of course is the mark of an excellent. I'm trying to think of what genre I would put this as. I guess like many of her other books, maybe you'd call it a psychological horror. It definitely has elements of that sort of psychological thriller, but there are definitely parts that slip into the horror genre as well. But for any of these books of hers that I've mentioned, if you're worried about it being too scary, I don't think that's something you have to worry about. It's definitely not that kind of horror novel. It's much more subtle. It's much more, I guess, yeah, psychological. And I absolutely loved it. And I know I haven't said much here, but I can't say any more than that, because saying any more would result in either confusion, it wouldn't make any sense to you, or spoiling, and I don't want to do either of those things. My dog, of course, since I've come to film, is now manically roaming the room after having been deep in slumber. So I think that's where I'm going to let you go now. I know this one is so short, but it's gotta be. I've got a vlog coming for you guys really soon, and yeah, mark your calendars for this one if it sounds like something you would be interested in. Just like the Lisa Jewell book that we talked about the other day, this one also comes out August 8th. So that is 2 absolute bangers that come out that day. 2 5-star reads for me. That's a good reading day. That's a good reading day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you are having a good day or good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.